Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today we're going to do another great workout you can do in your home with minimal equipment. In fact, the only thing you're going to need today is a ball and a pair of dumbbells. If you don't have a ball, you can use the floor and just do the exercise modified on the floor. So remember to come into these workouts warmed up and ready to move. 5 to 10 minutes of a cardio workout just to get your heart rate up, your muscles and joints warmed up, and your mindset ready for movement. Okay, so like I said, grab a set of dumbbells, probably a little bit on the lighter side, maybe medium, depending on what you're lifting, and your fit ball. We're going to start with a bridge doing chest flies. So if you don't have a ball, you can do a bridge on the floor. Walk on out so that your head and your chest are resting comfortably on top of the ball. Bring those weights straight overhead. We're going to bring them out to the side and back up again. Lift up those hips, squeeze those glutes. Make sure you're breathing. 4. If this feels bad on your elbows or your shoulders, you can bend your elbows as you come down. That's okay. It gives you a little bit shorter lever. Lift up those hips. Weight is going through your heels in your feet. Keep breathing. 2 more. And 10. Good. These alternative chest exercises are great ways to continue to build up your chest and your pecs and your arms and your shoulders without doing push-ups. And so that when we do get back to push-ups on our rotations through some of these exercises, then maybe they start to feel a little bit more doable, a little bit easier. Okay. Get these weights and your ball out of your way. We're going to lower down to the floor. Move my camera down. And we're going to do leg lifts. So I want you to lie down on your back with your knees bent. Make sure my camera stays activated here. I want you to think about flattening your back to the floor. We're going to put one leg out. We're going to do leg lifts. So lifting and lowering slowly. Only lifting to the top of your bent knee here. And then when you bring it down, don't let it touch the floor. So this is a great exercise for your hip flexors, obviously, but also it's a way to get a quad, like isometric contraction without using your knees. So I know that knee pain can sometimes be limiting on working those leg muscles. And this is a way you can do it if you do suffer from knee pain and you're not able to do those sit-to-stands and squats and step-ups and things like that. And switch. 1. So remember, you're just coming up as high as that bent knee and then not letting your foot touch the ground, if you can do that. That keeps that isometric contraction right here and doesn't let those muscles rest throughout the set. Make sure you continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. You can continue to work on flattening your back here too, and you'll get a little bit of extra core engagement. 2 more. And 10. Good. These 3 that I'm going to cycle through here are ones that are good to do maybe before you get out of bed in the morning, or if you have a hard time getting down on the floor, you can do these on your bed. But they can be really good to just kind of get some blood moving, some circulation going before you step out of bed in the morning. Okay, next we're going to do bridges. So just a plain bridge on the floor. I want you to think about flattening that back. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. You're driving your weight through your heels and then come back down. So we're going to do 10 of those, but I want you to do that each time. Flatten your back, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips. And back down. Go through that process each time. These are a really great exercise for glute activation. That can be a big problem with many people. When your glutes don't activate properly, then other muscles try to take over, and you might end up with low back pain, you might end up with hamstring pain, you might end up with other hip pain. You want to work on those glutes. They're really important for hip stabilization and to keep everything in your legs and your hips working properly. Really squeeze those glutes before you come up. And then also, when you're doing a bridge, you don't have to go as high as humanly possible. Flatten, squeeze, lift. Like right now, I'm getting really good glute engagement. I don't need to be way up here. I think people, everybody wants to be a little bit of an overachiever, and they feel like the bigger motion that you get, the better. And that's not necessarily true with all of exercises. So just getting that glute squeeze, like you should be getting pretty tired by now. Flatten, squeeze, lift. I'm putting my weight through my heels. I can lift my toes if I want to. Let's do 2 more. And rest. 1 more. In fact, some people have a hard time lifting off the floor at all. So if you're just right here and that's all the further you can get, that's okay as long as you're getting that glute activation. And then you can work on lifting a little higher. But like I said, your goal is not to lift your hips as, like you're trying to push your hips through the ceiling, that type of cueing. So I don't know, I think that's maybe old school or things that they used to say, but that's not how you want to do those. You want to just focus on getting that glute activation. And if your butt starts to get a little sore as you progress through that exercise, then you're doing it correctly. You may also feel it in your hamstrings a little bit, but getting that proper hip pelvic engagement and rotation will help with that as well. Okay, next we're going to do double knee lifts. So we're going to stay where you are. You're going to lift your knees towards your nose, slowly put them back down, but don't actually set them down. So the key here, again, is to press that low back into the floor, activating your core here, and you want to be able to keep your back to the ground here. So right here is where it's the hardest, and then come back up. Really focus on keeping that back straight. If you absolutely cannot keep your back flat, it's okay, you can continue to work on it. But if it hurts, I want you to stop and not continue. So if you get here and your back kind of arches up and it hurts, I would rather have you do them alternating. And that makes it easier to keep your back flat to the floor, especially if you're having pain. If you're not having pain, try it. Continue to try it. And then if you can't get it after 4 or 5, then do the alternating. It's still going to work the same muscles. It's just a little bit less intense. All right, I'll do 2 more of that double knee lift. Not quite set your feet down. And rest. Good. Okay, now we're going to come up, but we're going to stay on the floor. Okay. We're going to do triceps dips on the floor. So you're going to place your hands behind you. If you find that you have wrist pain with this, you can place a rolled up like yoga mat kind of up on your heel of your hand. I want you to keep your knees bent, lift up your hips, and I just want you to bend your elbows and come back up. So it's not a very large movement. In fact, you can make it bigger by lifting your hips up a little higher, but you don't have to. It can be a pretty small little movement. Just little triceps activation, tricep dips. You can see my triceps starting to activate there. Small range of motion, but using your body weight. Don't need fancy equipment for this one. 2 more. And rest. Okay, good. Now we're going to stand up. So I want you to stand up slowly. You've been on the ground for a little while. Come on over on your hands and knees. Come partway up so that you start to feel, start to get the blood pumping back up to the top. And then stand up when you're ready. Okay, move my camera here. Okay, we're going to end with a balance exercise here. We're going to do side hop knee holds. So what you're going to do is I want you to kind of hop over to the side, coming over into the middle here, and then lift up your knee and try to hold it. So we're gonna hop over, try to stop that momentum from continuing to go, and hold. Hop over, hold. And I want this hold to be deliberate, like 3, 4, 5 seconds, so that you work on standing, hi Baloo, on one foot and stop that lateral momentum. Even more challenging with an excited puppy in your midst. So I want you to do this for about 30 seconds or so, or the other thing you can do is do 5 on each side or 10 on each side. You don't have to hop very far. Hi, Baloo. But I want you to go so that you have to figure out how to stop that momentum, that lateral momentum. So you can do this with your back against a wall or near something where you can grab on if you do lose your balance. I know. But challenge yourself, and if you find that it's not that challenging, you can hop a little further and, just see how it goes. Okay, go through those 1 or 2 more times. Add a little cardio in between, 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Just get your heart rate up, keep your exercise going. And if you do the whole thing, it might take you about an hour. It might take you a little less, but go through it all 1, 2, 3 times and follow with some cool down and stretching. All right, if you have any questions or need any modifications or anything, please leave me a message and I will see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great workout.